What is going on, everyone? My name is Ghiman Mckinney, or you can just call me Juice, because that is my nickname. I want to talk about Tua Tagovailoa today. I think that Tua Tagovailoa has a chance to become a really good, solid franchise quarterback. I really do believe that. I think he's a natural thrower of the football. I love his mechanics. I love his footwork. He's very smooth. Everything Tua Tagovailoa does is very, very smooth. His movements in the pocket, his throws downfield. He's just a natural at the position. He goes to Alabama, gets inserted into the frame. I believe his freshman season, wins the national title, taking over for Jalen Hurts at halftime versus the University of Georgia. I mean, that's a stage that's pretty big, to go in at halftime, to be prepared and just take over that game versus Georgia, the national championship game, is one of the best moments I've seen in all of sports, quite frankly. This is a guy that's highly accurate. This is a guy that's a high football IQ. This is a guy that has some mobility. So again, I like Tua. However, at the same time, I'm going to go the route that Tua is probably going to be closer to a boom or bust prospect than people are willing to admit. And I will tell you why. I believe there is actually some bust potential with Tua Tagovailoa. There's some people that said the Redskins need to draft Tua to replace Dwayne Haskins. They say Tua is just clear-cut much better than Dwayne Haskins. I don't think this is going to happen. I think the Redskins are going to take Chase Young, and if not, they're going to trade down. But either way, I just think that people are overhyping Tua just a little bit, because I don't think he's a clear-cut prospect above Dwayne Haskins. I don't think that he's clear-cut better than Haskins. I really don't. And I don't think that Tua is worth trading up for and tanking for. I just don't, everyone said the Dolphins are tanking for Tua, and they may have been tanking for a quarterback like Tua, potentially, but I just don't think Tua is worth trading up to get. Now, if you need a quarterback, that's a different story. Now, I will say this. I think that if a team is going to trade up to get Tua, it will be because they actually need a quarterback, not because of Tua and his actual skill set, okay? I think that if you're a team that actually needs a quarterback, and you like the Miami Dolphins, and you got teams that might jump them, then I understand why you might trade up to get him, because you need a franchise quarterback. Hey, we got to get someone. But, a lot of people have been saying that Tua is a generational talent. I think that he's very, very good. But generational talent was Andrew Luck, Deshaun Watson, Carson Wentz, Aaron Rodgers, Kyler Murray. I don't quite see that. I don't quite see Tua being that guy. Like I said, I don't think that he's quite worth trading up for. If I'm the Miami Dolphins, and let's say I have a choice between Tua Tagovailoa or Jordan Love, I would not trade up to get Tua Tagovailoa. I will stay put, and I would choose between whoever's on the board. If Tua's on the board, hey, take him. If Jordan Love's on the board, hey, take him. Because I don't think the gap is that wide between the two. And I think that anyone who thinks that Tua is better than Joe Burrow, I really just don't think that you watched college football through a full microscope this past year, because Joe Burrow, he's a much better prospect than Tua Tagovailoa, in my opinion. One of the questions I have about Tua Tagovailoa is the injuries. I'm concerned about his injuries. He has had a lot of injuries, even dating back to high school, guys. This is a guy at Alabama that broke his finger, had multiple ankle injuries, had ankle surgery, had a hip surgery recently. Now, again, he says he's fully healthy, but how healthy really is he? How healthy is he willing to admit? And, I've always said you can fix a quarterback's mechanics. You can fix their footwork. You can actually tweak some things in a quarterback to make them a better player. What you can't tweak is injuries, because injuries, they're just going to happen. If you're an injury-prone player, you're most likely, at the college level at least, if you're an injury-prone player in college, you are most likely probably going to get hurt in the NFL. We've seen Patrick Mahomes, not great mechanics in college, it got fixed, he's a stud. Aaron Rodgers, not great mechanics in college, they got fixed, he's a stud. Injuries, they don't go away. If your body's frail, if you just don't take hits like someone else, if you're just not tough enough, if your body's not built to take these hits, and you've already taken a lot of hits in college, and you're taking even more hits in the NFL, that's a problem. And I really do think that Tua Tagovailoa has a problem that a lot of people do not like to admit. he's not as mobile as people give him credit for. And I think that gets him in trouble because Tua Tagovailoa in his right mind thinks he can escape everything. Because I see him try to escape the pocket a lot. He has happy feet in that pocket. He tries to move outside the pocket a lot. He breaks the pocket way too soon at times, and he thinks he can outrun everyone, and that's where he gets in trouble. He runs outside the pocket way too much because he thinks he's Lamar Jackson or Deshaun Watson, and quite frankly, he's mobile, but he's not that mobile. And having those ankle injuries and having those hip injuries, your twitchy movements are not going to be the same. He's not going to be probably as mobile in the NFL. He's going to have to win a lot more from the pocket in the NFL, just in general. And if he doesn't have the same mobility that he once had because of injuries, that's a problem. And Tua Tagovailoa, like I said, he thinks he's faster than he actually is, and that gets him in trouble and leaves him more prone to more hits, and that's a problem. And again, people say, well, Deshaun Watson got hurt in college. He was worth the pick. I agree, Deshaun Watson is definitely worth the pick, but Deshaun Watson won 11 games behind the worst offensive line in football. Okay? This is a guy that is one of the 5 best quarterbacks in football, in my opinion, right now. This is a guy that can overcome not great rosters and not a lot of talent around him. I don't see Tua being that guy. People said, well, Carson Wentz got hurt a lot. He was worth the pick. Yeah, okay, I agree, but Carson Wentz was the best player in football in 2017 before getting injured and just led a bunch of practice squad players to the playoffs. He had no wide receiver help. His offensive line was in shambles all year. Defense had a bunch of injuries. He carried that Eagles team on his back. I don't see Tua being that good at the NFL level. And see, the thing about Tua is, like I said, Deshaun Watson and Carson Wentz, they have shown the ability to overcome things at the next level. And that is something Tua Tagovailoa actually has not done at Alabama. Okay, you want to know why? Because when Tua Tagovailoa was put on an even playing field, meaning when he faced Clemson last year, Mississippi State last year, Georgia last year, LSU last year, even though he did win a couple of those games, he beat Mississippi State, last year, he beat LSU last year. He just wasn't great in these games. He really wasn't. Last year versus Georgia, versus Mississippi State, versus Clemson, versus LSU, Tua Tagovailoa with elite wide receivers, with a great offensive line, with a great defense behind him, with Nick Saban at his side, threw 6 touchdowns to 6 interceptions versus those teams. And this past year versus LSU, he did throw 4 touchdowns. I will give him credit, but there were still a lot of plays that Tua Tagovailoa left on the field to be desired. What I'm trying to say is that when Tua has been facing teams that have about the same amount of talent as his team, he has not looked so good. In fact, he's 3-5 versus ranked opponents. Joe Burrow is 9-2 versus ranked opponents. And meanwhile, like I said, when I mentioned earlier that Tua Tagovailoa is not as mobile as people give him credit for, I think Joe Burrow is more mobile than people are willing to admit. Because I don't see Joe Burrow, not being able to escape pressure, not being able to outrun some of these guys. Tua Tagovailoa, he gets caught way too many times. Joe Burrow is a much more stronger, much more durable, and much more better athlete at the quarterback position than Tua Tagovailoa. And people say, well, Tua's better than Joe Burrow. In what way? Show me where Tua's better than Joe Burrow. I don't see it. Joe Burrow literally had the greatest college football season of all time. And don't say it's Joe Brady, because when Joe Brady has to put on a helmet and throw touchdown passes versus Florida, versus Alabama, versus Clemson, then come talk to me. Joe Burrow had to learn the playbook. He had to execute those plays. He had to get better as a player. Stop saying it's Joe Brady. It's not Joe Brady. It's not. What is going to happen to Tua Tagovailoa if he does not have a great offensive line? If he doesn't have a great wide receiver core? If his defense isn't as good? If his coaching isn't as good? See, at Alabama, you play with the best players. You play with 4- and 5-star guys. And Tua put up great numbers and put up a lot of great production. And again, I believe Tua can be a franchise quarterback. But I have my hesitations because of the injuries and because when I saw Tua go against the elite defenses and the elite teams, he just did not look that good and he had a lot of support around him. Okay, I think that's a fair argument against Tua Tagovailoa. I really do. Go back and look at some of these games. He just does not look like the same quarterback. And again, I threw some numbers at you guys earlier, but I threw those numbers at you because I think that those numbers justify his play versus these teams. He just wasn't that good versus these teams, these ranked opponents. Outside of beating Georgia in the national championship game, in which he came in at halftime, they had no film on him, were not prepared for him. He has not beaten and not been great versus these ranked teams. He just has not been. And that's a concern, man. And again, what's going to happen with Tua Tagovailoa has to do with a messy pocket constantly. When he's constantly getting hit, guys are stronger, faster. You know, they hit harder, okay? The game speeds up at the NFL level. And Tua played with a lot of talent at Alabama. And when you go to Alabama, you put up a lot of great numbers. You win a lot of games. You have advantages that other teams do not have. You know, a lot of teams came to the realization that they were screwed when they played Alabama. Unless you're Clemson, Ohio State, or Georgia, you know from kickoff, deep down, you're toast versus Alabama. The Citadel, they knew they had no chance versus Alabama. Duke this past year, they knew they had no chance versus Alabama. So the point I'm trying to make is, will Tua be able to overcome dysfunction? Will he be able to overcome not having the best team on the field at the next level? Will he be able to stay healthy? Those are three concerns that I worry about. And again, while Tua Tagovailoa is very talented, I would lean toward a guy like Jordan Love over Tua Tagovailoa because I think that Jordan Love has more potential than him. I think that Joe Burrow right now is better than Tua Tagovailoa. And again, I just don't see the clutch factor with Tua Tagovailoa. I don't know if I see the big game intangibles from him, I should say, quite yet. I don't know if he's developed that trait. And again, while Tua Tagovailoa is very, very talented, I do not think he's worth trading up for. I do believe he's worth a top 10 pick. Don't get me wrong. He's very talented. But at the same time, I think that Tua Tagovailoa is much more closer to a boomer bust prospect than people are willing to give him credit for. I hope he succeeds at the next level. I believe he's probably going to succeed. But again, I don't see him being a generational talent. As of right now, Joe Burrow is definitely better than Tua Tagovailoa. And if I had to guess, in the long run, depending on where they go, I'm going to put my money on Jordan Love also potentially being better than Tua Tagovailoa. Be sure to comment where you agree with me and disagree with me. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say in the comment section. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this video today. Be sure to smash this like button right now if you enjoyed this video. Subscribe to my channel if you're new as well. I do post a ton of great sports videos weekly and almost every single day if I can. A fun fact about me is I want to go into the sports broadcasting and media world. I want to become one of the next great sports broadcasters and analysts out in the world. Kind of like Colin Cowherd, Stephen A. Smith, Shannon Sharp. You get the point. Okay, I want to do sports, television, and radio for a full living once I graduate from the University of Toledo, a college in northern Ohio. I currently am a freshman there right now. So the best thing you guys can do to just help me continue to grow as a young broadcaster is to just share this channel with all your friends, because potentially if this channel really gets somewhere, I want to start my own network, okay? You know, or potentially if it doesn't, you know, or if I fall a little bit short, I want to go into a big time network like ESPN or Fox Sports 1. So the best thing you guys can do to just flat out just help me grow as a broadcaster, help me learn, you know, get other people hip to this channel, you know, just share this channel with all your friends, share this channel on Facebook, share it on Twitter, share it on Instagram, all that good stuff. Also, be sure to follow me on all my social media platforms. And once again, guys, just share this channel with everyone you know. Get everyone hipped and watching these videos. Get my voice out there and heard. Share it on Facebook, share it on Twitter, share it on Instagram, all that good stuff. It's been your boy, Ghiman Mckinney, or you can just call me Juice. I appreciate all you guys for tuning in today. I really do. Have a God bless day. Stay motivated, you guys, and I'm out.